Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to Level-Headed News. This is your host, Brenda. I have an interesting article here that I wanted to bring to your attention. It's rather lengthy, but well worth the read. The URL to it is in the description of this video for your convenience if you want to look up any of the information that I provided in this. This is off of survivaldan101.com, and it says, riots and looting are a clear picture of a divided America. How to make the mobs pass you by. When and if fascism comes to America, it will not be labeled made in Germany. It will not even be called fascism. It will be called, of course, Americanism. That was the prediction of Halford Lecoq in 1938. When one watches rioting, burning, and smashing that occurred at the University of California, Berkeley, all in the order to stop an alleged racist or fascist from giving a speech, one can see how prophetic Lecoq's predictions were. On Wednesday night, a few thousand people descended onto the Berkeley campus with the intent to block Breitbart editor Milo Yiannopoulos from giving a speech. The mainstream media described this group as the peaceful protesters. A few hours later, another group of 150 people arrived dressed in black and wearing masks. The group started throwing rocks, then barricades, then a generator on fire, which produced massive building high flames. People were beat up, others were assaulted with the pepper spray, and windows were smashed. Meanwhile, the peaceful protesters cheered and chanted, holding signs saying, "This is war," and "Become ungovernable." In recent years, riots have become more and more commonplace in the US and many countries in Europe. People are angry, be it over a race killing or falling economy, corrupt officials, or just mindless opportunities, youngsters who are highly susceptible to the mob mentality. Let's not forget about Katrina, and after all of the devastation that brought with it, homeowners still had to encounter looters. Millions of dollars in damages, businesses ruined, people hurt and killed, and for what? To rise up against injustice? No, to take the opportunity to do as they pleased without fear of repercussion. These people are not protesting peacefully. They see that the law can not control a large angry mob and decide that the law no longer applies to them. The media also plays a huge part in these riots. I mean, what good can it possibly do to state live on the air that angry mobs are expected if X does or doesn't happen? What this causes is for these mindless criminals to think, hey, maybe I should be angry. We should go out there and show them that we're angry. So they do. And what ensures a mixture of violence, robbery, looting, and arson attacks and physical bodily harm to whomever stands in the way. And there's some video in this if you want to pull it up to take a look at that. The article continues. It says, how can you make these looters pass you by? The first and most sensible answer as a prepper is good or get out of Dodge. I would rather watch the riots unfold on the news than be stuck in the middle of have to defend my property and family from hundreds of people who fear no repercussions from their actions. So what if things start and escalate rapidly? You arrive home from work and it's already kicked off and you can't get out. What things can you do in and around your home to make these people pass you by? Well, there are many ways to make yourself and your home less appealing. Let's dive right in. Hidden or in sight. The individual situation would greatly determine if you try to stay hidden or let people see you're there. For example, if you can get your family and friends to come to your location or a predetermined location, there's safety in numbers. This will allow you to be visible. Using long arm weapons slung over your shoulder as you move about your property and your garden, there is also a downside to it, and that your neighbors who have no preps for this kind of situation will see your lights on and perhaps come begging for help, protection, food, water, etc. So you should be prepared for this. Hey, everything has its ups and downs, right? Staying hidden may seem like the most logical choice at first. However, you must remember These people are generally looking for an opportunity. Home with no lights or visible signs of human presence equals opportunity. Sure, if they come thick and fast, destroying everything in their path, then you have no choice but to escape or shoot. However, in general, everyday life, that's not how it happens. And then they have a quick life hack here. It says there's a new way to bring nearly any type of old battery back to life. So it's just like it's new again. This method works with nearly every type of battery out there. It's simple and it's quick. In case you're wondering, you'll be able to bring a car, phone, or laptop battery back to life with this. It even works with solar, off-grid, marine, golf cart, and forklift batteries, plus many more. And there's a link that you can click on to get that information. It says, with this reconditioned battery secret, you won't have to buy new expensive batteries anymore. You can just recondition your old used batteries and save a lot of money. And there's a video that shows you how. Riots take time to warm up as people encourage others to get involved. This gives you a little time to get yourself, your family, and your friends together and make a plan of action to deter looters. Vehicles. Making it difficult to access your property is a great deterrent. However, if you have decided to be in plain sight, then you should ensure you move vehicles out of the way so that you can be seen from people walking in the street. Use your neighbor's driveway or the garage is a good option, and one that will allow you some cover from gunfire should you need it. It will also provide a quick escape route should you need it. You can also use your vehicle to light up your house and front lawn. Looters hate being spotted. They'd rather sneak in and out between shadows with a bag full of loot. By using your headlights to make your house look like a football stadium, you could deter people from approaching. The other option, of course, is to use vehicles as a barricade around the house, forming a semicircle around the front of the house where the mobs are likely to pass by, will limit the entry and exit points. Think of Woodbury, the town in the Walking Dead episodes where the buses are used as gates to the compound. Weather. You know what stopped the riots in Ferguson? It wasn't that they found peace with the situation or that they got what they wanted. It was the temperature. Riots and looting often take place in summertime when the weather is warm, not in the depths of winter or when it gets just cold enough to see your breath as you exhale. The temperature in Ferguson dropped, and so did the enthusiasm for opportunist violence and criminal activity. Here's an extract from the New York Times publication in the Science Journal from 2013. We found that higher temperatures and extreme rainfall led to large increases in conflict. For each one standard deviation change in climate toward warmer temperatures or more extreme rainfall, the median effect was a 14% increase in conflict between groups and a 4% increase in the conflict between individuals. Do some digging on Google and you'll see many of these studies concur that extreme weather can play a part in increased violent encounters. Activity. Don't think that looters won't hurt you, but at the same breath, they're looking for easy targets. So it's important to make your home or neighborhood look like a place of high activity with many people to defend it. People walking around, torches in hand, vehicles driving up and down, and a lookout at each house and corner. Music or a TV set turned up loud enough to hear as you pass by in the street will often be enough to ward off potential threats. Essentially, the more people you can muster in your community to band together, the better. Cooking and eating. Should you cook outside? This is a tough one to debate by many. However, most people confuse this question with a doomsday scenario. We're strictly talking about looting and rioting, not post-apocalyptic world where people are starving and killing their neighbors for a cup of flour. My answer to this would be to cook outdoors if you have decided to deter by a showing of presence. If you've decided to lay low and hide, you need to be prepared to eat cold rations and not have an open flame or any kind of smell that can attract people to your hiding hole. If, however, you have recruited friends and neighbors to help deter looters, then cooking and eating outdoors in plain sight would be okay depending on the situation. Say after a hurricane such as Katrina, people lost everything and had no food or safe drinking water. It's likely that you may have lost everything too. However, if you do have food, it's probably best to keep that to yourself and your close-knit group and not advertise it to the world that you have things they need. Say you do cook outside. What do you have to cook with? Do you have a grill, smoker, wood, coals to burn? Will you use gas? These are all questions to ask yourself, and cooking outdoor or indoors with these is not an option. Already looted? Most of the article has take the stance of the strength in numbers deterrent of looters. However, there is another option which would require some tough decisions and small sacrifices to be made. I'm talking about making your property look like it's already been looted. How do we go about that, and what would it entail? Well, let's look at the options. Trash and broken goods. I know of a few friends who keep their old broken TV set in their garage and plan to use it in this kind of an event. They will take a bat to it and place it on the front lawn to give the impression that people have already been to the property and here's what's left. You could also empty your garbage all over the property. People hate the smell of muck, especially if it's been festering there for a few days. Hidden valuables. If you do take the hunker down approach, it's best to take your valuables and some of your stored preps and move them away from the property, or at least in a place where people won't easily find them. A hole in the floor or buried cache location is a good idea. Even a fake stud wall or a picture frame covering a small stash box can work. If you avoid keeping any valuables, or try this again, I would avoid keeping any valuables on my person, such as jewelry or items that have sentimental value. Damage or lose them can have devastating effect on your mindset and morale. Not what you want in a situation where having your wits about you is of the utmost importance. Living without power, cars, electronics, or running water may seem like a nightmare scenario, but to pioneers it was just a way of life. Having the skills to survive without a modern convenience is not only smart, and in case the you know what hits the fan, it's also great for the environment. Keep in mind that the key to successful homestead does not lie on being able to grow your own food, but on your other skills as well. And they have a book here that you can obtain that'll teach you a lot about that type of survival. And the article continues and it says, going to the bathroom. Staying hidden is all well and good. Heck, it works for our special forces behind enemy lines, so why not? Well, if they also have to do everything where they choose to hide, and that means going to the bathroom, if you will be staying inside your home, you'll need a way to get rid of your waste and clean yourself afterwards, and that means washing your hands and body. Disease is a big killer in unsanitary conditions after events such as hurricane or tsunami. Fire. There is no storage off fires where looting and rioting is concerned. Or try this again. There is no shortage off fires. I think it's supposed to be of fires where looting and rioting is concerned. How about creating a large fire in the front of your property? Burning tires, smoke, and stink like hell because the ice water, which is a good deterrent. It will also mask the smell of any cooking you do, which makes it look like people have already been to your property, so there won't be anything left. Window boards. With hordes of people breaking into stores, there can be, well, for crying out loud, try it again. With hordes of people breaking into stores, there can only be so many who can fit through the doorway. Most often, looters will smash the glass window to grab what they can with ease. Having a selection of pre-cut boards all measured to fit the windows of your property could both protect your glass from being shattered and also make it look like your property has been condemned and is empty. If it looks like no one lives there, there will be nothing to steal. Plus, it has the added advantage of restricting the looters from peering into your home. Stay or go. Above, we have a few very different options to stay and protect what's yours, staying hidden or in plain sight, or fleeing and living to fight another day whilst your property succumbs to vandals and looters. Each one's a tough choice and would make a lot of planning, people, skill, and determination. There is no right or wrong answer. There's only the right answer for you and your situation at the time. Thinking about these things now could well save you from upset down the line. With the obvious and enormous exception of attitudes towards slavery, Americans are more divided morally, ideologically, and politically today than they were during the Civil War. For that reason, just as the Great War came to be known as World War I, once there was World War II, Civil War will become known as the First Civil War when more Americans come to regard the current battle as the Second Civil War. And there is a video on how to make pemmican. It's the ultimate survival food, and if you don't know how to make that, you might be wanting to check that out. A lot of these old time recipes and preparedness and survival skills have long since gone by the wayside. There's a lot of really good books on the market that you can pick up that'll teach you about all kinds of survival and the old time skills. And if you have access to your grandparents or your great grandparents, it would be a good time to sit down and have conversations with them. I know a lot of young people, they avoid the older folks, but I'll tell you, it is to your detriment to continue that. You need to sit down with these people and talk to them, especially if you know anybody that was living during the Depression times or shortly after the Depression or during World War II even. You know, they have a lot of information about how to survive a lot of adversity. So there you have that information. If you like what I'm doing here, give it a thumbs up and let me know. Share this on your social media so that everybody gets to share the information. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done that yet. And that way you'll stay informed.